Next we will add in the bar joist for this project. So let's go back into modeling, and as well modeling is loading up, let's go to your sheet S2 for project 1 and look at your roof plan at elevation 124. So in your model here we'll pick 124 elevation, and the bar joist, the top of the bar joist is the elevation you want to put in. So in our case, our bar joists are at 124 foot 0 at the top, and the seat of the bar joist is 2.5 inches deep. So that is the reason why we put the beams down 2.5 inches. So now to add in the bar joist, we need to add in some construction lines again. So let's go construction line add, base off a construction line on grid line 1, 4 foot 0, and there are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 repeats. And hit add, exit all there, return, right click it to exit all that command. Now we have construction lines, so we can add in our bar joist. So do member, select our tool here, and you will see member add joist. So this bar joist, we're going to go from grid line A and 1 intersection here to intersection at B and 1. And for a bar joist, first thing we're going to do on the top of the screen, the size is a 14K3. Again, piece mark and all that stuff you'll leave as is. SDS2 does not detail bar joist, so all it's going to do is put in a stick line in the model, and that's all you will see for the bar joist. It will put a plate in the model that looks like it is part of the bar joist. It's a dummy material just meant to add in holes if you are bolting down your bar joist. So put 14K3. The end elevation is 124 foot 0 on both ends, and in this case here, this bar joist that we put in is at a column, and column bar joists need to be bolted down. So as you look on your sheet S2, at the intersection of A and 1 at elevation 124, you see on the west side of that column 2 dots along that bar joist. That indicates that them bar joists need to be bolted down. So our connection type here, you have user defined, plain end, and seated. Seated, don't get that confused with bolting it down. Seated is if it's framing into the web of a column and you want it to put a seat on there, an angle or a plate or a WT to set the bar joist on. So here we want to leave it on plain end, and on the other end it's the same thing. It's going into the column, but in this case here we are not going to sit on top of the column. We're going to frame into the side of that column, into the web. So in this case here we do need it to be seated. As we get into the processing and the 3D portion of it, you'll see these connections. So now connection specs. For the bar joist, the top cord of the bar joist at 124 elevation is asking how do you want it connected. So here's where we tell it bolted. So here we're going to say bolted. And then the bottom cord, extend the bottom cord. What this does, we're going to turn this on and stabilize the material, turn on to plate. What this does is adds a plate at the bottom of that bar joist. So in this case is a 14-inch deep bar joist. It's 14 inches down. It's going to offset a plate on that column to stabilize the bottom chord of the bar joist so it does not roll. Now back to the right end, which was your second point you picked. We are going to do a seated connection as defined up here, and then it's asking what to make that seat out of. You have options here: a plate, an unstiffened angle, a stiffened angle, or a T. So let's leave that on plate. Then extend bottom chord again since it's framed into a column, and stabilize the material plate. So to put in the bar joist, add a column. Them are your options that you need to complete. If you want it bolted, if it's a seated connection, and then the stabilize, extend to the bottom chord, extend bottom chord, and the stabilize the material. So hit OK here, and that bar joist came in. Now you don't see the bolt hole symbol or anything like that. Now the column on the grid line 3 is almost identical, except for at grid line B, it also needs to be a bolted connection and not seated. So let's go locate there and locate there at B. Again, the elevation is correct. The size is still a 14K3. It is going to be plain end. All the information on the left end should be correct. On the right end, we need to change that to a plain end. Bolted for a connection. Stabilizing material. Extending bottom chord. Stabilizing material plate. And we should be good. So that's the two outside bar joists. Now, the bar joist nearest to grid line 2, typically bar joists that frame to columns are bolted, and bar joists that are nearest to a column are also bolted. So here we're going to do this bar joist here, just off from grid line 2. We're going to do intersection here to intersection here, and still a 14K3, connection type plain end, bolt it down. Now here we do not, it's not framed into a column, so we're not going to extend the bottom chord at all. So turn them off. The key here is to leave it on bolted. Okay, now the remaining bar joists are just going to get welded down. So here we're going to do intersection to intersection. Still 14K3, and the elevations are correct. Plain end is correct. And your connection specifications, we'll change that back to welded, and hit OK. Now the remaining bar joists are all the same, so here we can use our repeat, 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 and repeat. So now you have added in all the bar joists for this project.